Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Lights Out League Racing Season 31. And it's the time for the Div 2 boys as they start the second half of the season. And already someone's trying to leave. Get back in. Get back in. Although Spain's known for bullfighting, we want to see the galloping horses racing too. Get back in, Dead Divine. Great late race last week in Australia where we saw Benja pick up his first race win of the season, and all eyes will be on him to try and get back-to-back and hunt down the championship leader of Regan McKinnon. Although he's just watched the Div 1 race but bailed out, saving himself some energy for this race. And those that saw any of the Div 1 may have got an insight of what will come from this race here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Is that it's a special race once again, which special race is becoming a feature of the LOLR calendars. And this week is a no hards race, which means it's exactly what it says on the tin. During the race, no hards allowed for the drivers, which is going to increase strategy and thought, tyre wear management, and we're probably going to see 2 or 3 pit stops for drivers through the race. But before that, we've got qualifying, and the first one to show us how it's done is TT Fleasy in the Sauber, a guy with mega pace. And can he show it in quali and follow up in the race as he approaches the long run down to turn 1, goes wide enough as possible, get a good turn in so you can follow it through coming out of turn 2. Turn 3 is a very tricky long right-hander where you've got to have good balance in your car setup to maximise the approach up to turn 4. Dipped his toe in his right wheel into the grass a bit too much as he wanted to as we go down the left long hairpin of turn 5. Go downhill and then back up as it's a swing the car in turn 7. Very tricky. Coming out of turn 8, you don't want to go into the gravel. Long right hand of turn 9 into the DRS zone where we've seen plenty of cars go wide, and then the laps. Overtaking opportunity approaching turn 10. A couple of them on the circuit. I'm sure the drivers will utilise those opportunities. Final couple of corners flat out through turn 13, but prioritise your approach into the final corner. Again, flat out. You want to get a good exit out of the final corner. The line will creep up and it's a 1:12.8 for Fleasy. And I reckon pole's going to be low 12s. And it's a good start there from the Sauber. 14.2 for the Haas. As the times will start pinging in. Big John in the McLaren. 1:14.7, half a second behind the Haas. Sygate currently on the provisional front row with a 13.9. It shows a good lap there from the Sauber. I reckon maybe I'm going a bit too high. Maybe mid 12s is going to be pole. Pepso replacing him into the 13.9. 900ths ahead of Sygate as Kessler in the Williams. Sick of me waiting. I'm waiting for you to do a decent lap. 1:14.1. Williams for his first run out. Validation there for not JMB. Not JMB! He's going to have to go again if he's got enough ERS in his tank. Next up is the Mercedes boys of Damon Hill is in the pits. He's messed up his lap, but Hingle McDingleberry bum tag knot onto the provisional front row with a 13.3, so a good time for him. Half a second though behind Fleasy. And Alpine's next. Bench is back into the pit, so he's invalidated his lap. Regan McKinnon just sitting into the pit, so now saving. Now this is going to be crucial that not everybody's going to be doing all the laps. Going to save themselves some soft tyres for the race. As good luck there from Skyglide in the Aston. Just 200ths behind Fleasy. Jumps onto the front row then. As Dan Morris just starting his first lap. Let's see if we can find somebody. Shawnee P is going to be next, but he's invalidated. So let's jump back on to Benchard with a great lap of a 13.6 up to P4 Hot Stepper. He's messed up somewhere. That's not a hot lap from him. Currently running P10, but he's got a time on the board, more than some. Let's keep an eye on Dan Morris, who his teammate currently is on the front row. J&B, not J&B. Finally gets a lap on the board, goes P8 with a 14.2 behind Kessler. Dan Morris, of course, joined us in Div 1. A really good qualifying lap there. Can he follow that form here in Spain? Last time, if I do recall, he was master of the spins. This is looking good so far. We'll have a nice little slipstream off his teammate ahead of him. If this is how the teams are going to play, it is. Skyglide's going again, giving a nice little slipstream to his teammate. Dan Morris, provisional pole, 12.5, a good 0.3 ahead of Fleasy. He's come and he's playing. So Shawnee P, what can Shawnee P do? It's all about the Astonton Salbers at the moment. 1-2, 1-2, as Hot Stepper steps in between with a 13.2. A good half a second behind Skyglide. But 1 or 2 doing a couple of laps on one set of tyres. As I said, save themselves some for the race. 1 or 2 coming out then to do a hot lap. Let's jump on with Kessler then as he's going for another lap. I think he may have just done one. Increased his time just a smidge. But I'm still waiting for a decent lap. Tick-tock. Dead Divine with a brilliant lap and got himself up to P7. Jumped in back into the race last minute. Was missing and he's back in his car. And currently running in decent position. Ferrari, it's taken a while to get out of the blocks. But finally getting some points on the board. As we check on this. Dead Divine's retired in the pits, thankfully. Okay, so yeah, definitely saved himself some tyres for the race then. Oh, Dazza needs an invite. I haven't seen that. Sorry, Dazza. You try and get you back in if you're not already. Get the Red Bull driver. And he's back in, thankfully. Let's keep an eye then on Damon Hill as he's through the final couple of corners. Had a really bad week last week after winning the race at Silverstone. Can the Challenger tier driver continue his battle for the championship and get a good lap in P9, 1:13.8. No slouch for a first run. I'm sure he'll want a little bit more. Let's keep an eye then on Fire. There's his lap on Fire. Can he get himself a decent time on the board? Comes around the final couple of corners. Don't think it's going to be the quickest lap, but he's going to put him in there and thereabouts. And goes P11, just ahead of Saget at 13.9, and that midfield is hotting up next to the Alpines. Benja going, oh, Benja's in the gravel. Oh, we caught that, my boy. And he has to let his teammate go as he goes through a cloud of smoke. And it's not a good first run there for Benja. Wasted a set of tyres. And Magel will cross the line and goes P6, the Alpine, 13.3. 200ths behind Shawnee P. Storming lap there from the Alpine. Showing his professional teammate how it's done. As Damon Hill going in the pits, then we've got a Red Bull next across the line. It's Pepso. And it finds a couple of tenths, but stays P11. Dazza coming on an out lap, still yet to set a time. Only 3 drivers still to do a lap. Regan McKinnon sitting in the pits. He's going to do one lap wonder by the looks of it. Fire diving in the pits then. We've got Aston Martin's here as Skyglide has got himself up to P2 ahead of Fleasy after doing a second lap. Aston Martin's looking very, very tasty as Adina Rui crosses the lines, found almost 3/10 and is P14 into the 113s. Seigate into P8. Got himself a podium last week. P3 in the Challenger tier. Who's coming round to J&B? Sorry, not J&B. Has found almost 9/10 on his first run. We'll get him to 13.3s around the P6 mark as it stands. We'll see how he's doing after the second sector as he comes round turn 7 and 8, and he's invalidated on the inside of turn 7 after a decent first run. As let's keep an eye on Daza. Definitely interested in doing some bullfighting. Will he see red? Or will he have a chance to get himself in for a podium? Taking it better than we saw J&B, not J&B. Oh, nice slip on Mabru as he comes round the end of sector 2. Fastest middle sector by the Red Bull driver. Is he in for a shout for getting himself near the spear of the grid? Daz is a strange driver. He's got a very good pace about him, just never seems to follow up in the race. And definitely goes P6 with a 13.0. As Bedchod's in the pit, his teammate Pepso is gone again, down a 10th though. Damon Hill on another lap as we've got about 5.5 minutes to go. Plenty of time. Load of drivers you can see thinking about what the race upcoming and what tyres they're going to preserve. J&B, not J&B, goes very deep at 10. About 2.5 up currently on his time. Is he going to finish his lap or dive in the pits? Has he got enough fuel in the tank? He's not going to gain that much. Although it's looking a semi-decent time. Oh, Pepso. Gained a bit of time. As Benja manages to get a solid lap in and goes onto the front row with a 12.5. The Alpine has arrived. Gibson's teammate, a nice little slipstream down the start-finish straight as well. I love that team play. I love that team play. As we see Dan Morris come out, I assume potentially for his final run. G&B making as much use of the grounds as possible. Damon Hill, of course, getting collided by Pepso, who's lost his wing. Was he on a hot lap? Damon Hill's in and probably his lap ruined as well. We'll probably see them come back out again. So let's jump on with Magel. I already have. But when I get you back on again, you're definitely going to get it. Send it in, mate. As we see Magel, can he improve on his time? He does, up to P8, 13.1, so close to the 12s. Yeah, he does need to, and he'll get, if it's impeding, send your clip in, he'll get a quali ban and penalties for it. Let's jump back up with the current pole sitter who's bailed out his lap. He's messed up coming out of turn 9. The pressure's getting to the Aston Martin. So we've got coming near the end of a lap then, I think. Potentially not J&B. No, let's keep it on Kessler then. Come on, I'm waiting for a good lap. Tick-tock. You're 10 minutes late for a good lap here, come on. Winning straight driver as he comes round, turn 7 and 8. Can he keep it within the white lines? Very close. There's a very tricky couple of corners as he comes to the end of the second sector. DRS is open. How's he doing? He's almost 3/10 up, which will get him about 13.8, so just above Damon Hill. If he can keep it going to the end of the lap. As it stands, both Aston Martins will get pole in their respective tiers. Will anyone challenge them? Regan McKinnon still yet to come out, as Kessler goes P14 ahead of Damon Hill with a 13.7. J&B, not J&B, stays P18, does not improve. Skyglide then coming for his final run. Oh, Kessler, I was waiting for a good lap and you fucked it up once again. McDingleberry bum tag nut. He's been waiting for it. He's currently P10. Good evening, Geezer. Congratulations on your first elite podium. Well deserved, in a great battle with and Katamise the Fridge. We've got Mercedes next, so Damon Hill's having to come out again. His last lap impeded. Into the pits then, it looks like the other Visa Carb. We've got McLaren next to come round. It's not step on up, it's Big John. Big John and Regan McKinnon coming on their outlap for the first time. It's Regan McKinnon cutting it fine. He has to nail this lap. J&B, can he improve his time? He's currently 3/10 up. He does. P14, 13.7 ahead of Damon Hill. Is this Benja coming out for his final lap? No, it's Benchod onto the front row. Williams driver pulled that out of his arse. Pulled his intestines with him and gets him, what's that, 600ths behind Dan Morris. Put himself well in contention. Benja's just coming on an outlap then, so we'll keep a beady eye on him. Wasn't that the name of Liam Gallagher's other band? Beady Eye. Right, he's going to get quite... Oh, invalidating the final corner, Damon Hill. Has he got enough in his tank to go again? That could have been a big mess up there. Hot Stepper doing a final run. All these times are going to be dinging in. Dan Dazza just about squeezed in with 8 seconds to spare for a final run. Terry Red's cheering on Damon Hill. As Dingleberry's not going to be. Regan McKinnon on that one run with a 12.4. He saved that in the bag, and all pressure now on Dan Morris. And Sky Guy crosses the line, does not improve on P5, has a 12.6. Terry's cursed Damon Hill by the sounds of it. Fleecy's invalidated, he's not going to improve. His teammate though, Shawnee P, slightly down in his time. It doesn't look like he's going to improve on his current P6. Will cross the line. Looks like Pepso has messed up his lap. And we'll start high as P14. Next we've got, is it Benja? He's invalidated. Benja's not going to improve. The highest he'll start is on row 2. Mercedes of Damon Hill will start P16. Not a best qualifying from him. Step on Appa starts P8. So Dazza, P9. Dan Morris will start on the front row. Dazza invalidated his lap, will start P9. So Regan McKinnon takes pole. The pressure gets to everyone else. And that one lap wonder wanders himself to the top of the grid and gets himself another point for his championship stride. Dan Morris got a 12.2 and invalidated it. Well, gotta keep it within the limits, my friends. Which Regan McKinnon does, and takes another pole for the season with a 12.4. But by no means only 300ths behind him. Dan Morris joins him on the front row. Benchod and Benja. Oh my God, Spider-Man meme on row 2. Skyglide and Shawnee P on row 3. Skyglide taking pole. I think takes pole for the Challenger. Hot Stepper and Dazza P8, P9 may go round off the top 10. Hingle McDingy, Bum Tagnut P11 with Sygate P12, Dead Divine 13th, 14th for Pepso, JMB, not JMB 15th, 16th Damon Hill, Fire 17th, 18th Redine, John 19th and Kessler blocking the pit lane like an absolute prat. And we'll start at the back. So we're just going to have a couple of minutes while drivers just sort out their strategies and their tyre. Bum Tagnut for the win. Of course, you're going to back yourself. And let's just sort out their fuel strategy. As I mentioned, it's probably going to be a 2 or 3 stopper with the no hards rule. So it's going to be crucial on what your fuel load is going to be. Will we see anyone? Will we see many safety cars? Let me just double check. I think Benchard is. So I think Skyglide got pole in his Aston with a fine lap in qualifying. Those are watching, who's going to be on your podium? Who's going to be your race winner? I'm going to go for... I'm going to go for... I'm going to go for... Dan Morris for the win. Regan P2. And... Benja P3. Terry Reds is going Regan, Benja and Damon Hill. Damon Hill P3. He's going to have a big race. He's going to have a big race coming from where he started. Damar saying Regan to win. He always wins. To be fair, though, I think many of his wins have not been down to him and his speed. It's been down to others' mistakes and a couple of lucky moments under safety cars. It's not down to pure pace. He's probably had, I recall, one race where he's been quite dominant. He's been there and thereabouts, and you've got to be in it to win it. And if you're going to crash out, it's your own fault. Damon Hill says Terry Reds has got more faith in him than his own mum. As we start getting underway. But a lot of drivers got confidence in their own abilities, which you should do. Let's have a look at everyone's starting strategy then. So most drivers starting on a set of softs then. Only Dazza and Sygate choosing to go on a set of mediums. Interesting call then. I wouldn't have thought that many would have done so. I reckon then are we going to do a soft, medium, hards? No idea. But Regan McKinnon leads us round once again. This track's been with us since 1991. And Nigel Mansell took the first victory of a circuit that's well known to a lot. It's used in pre-season practice and is on many league calendars. It's quite a straightforward circuit. It is, of course, a no hards race, which makes it very... Oh, yes. I tell you what, I'm knackered. I'm glad you're there, Terry's. I did it in chat. There's no hard, so potentially soft, medium, mediums, maybe a soft, medium, medium, or something like that. We shall see. Tyre wear is very generally quite high, with the track being quite abrasive. So hence why it was chosen as a no hards track, replacing Monaco, because these numbnuts can't drive around a street circuit. It's a 4.65 kilometre clockwise track with 14 corners, 8 to the right and 6 to the left, with 2 DRS zones, so there is opportunity to overtake. 38% chance of a safety car. Pit stops are 22 seconds or thereabouts, so that extra 1 or 2 pit stops are going to be quite crucial. Dan Morris has clattered somebody and is on the pit box. But Regan McKinnon leads us into his pits box with Damrosch alongside him with Benchard and Benja in row 2. Skyglide and Shawnee P, challenger rivals. Right behind them with his teammate Fleazy in P7. Hot Stepper, EV9 Dazza round off the 10-10. Magel in P10. Hingle McDingy Tagnut with Cygate alongside him. Dead Divine and not Jamie. 14th. Damon Hill 15th. Via Idinario, Big John, Pepso and Kessler. Regan is at the front. It's a 595 metre run down from pole to turn 1 breaking point. It's lights out and away we go. And a drive-through penalty for Dazza of jump starting. What a rookie mistake, but you can see it's a big run down to the front. It's Dan Morris on the inside. Can he take the lead of the race? Side by side with a Haas to Regan McKinnon. Oh, Regan McKinnon has to run off. Will he give the position back to the Aston? He does. As we see everyone make it through. Dazza drops quite a few positions after his poor start. Kessler up 4 places already, up to P16. A very tricky turn 4, but it looks like everyone's made it well. Away well. It's just Dazza with that drive-throughs already potentially screwed up his race. Fleazy gaining a couple of positions up to P5 at turn 5. We'll try and hop the Aston, the Alpine as Hingle McDingleberry has lost his end plate. He's tag nutting at the back, and the back of an arsehole, and he'll have to have an early pit stop. But we're starting on the soft tyres. Hot Stepper as well, dropping many places. As we see 1 or 2 drivers making use of these soft tyres on the outside of Benja, but Benja just staying ahead for now. The side by side through. Oh, it was tight through 13. A high speed corner as Fleazy goes on through, goes wide at the final corner. But Dan Morris at the moment in the lead of the race. Dazza in the pits getting rid of that track limits, that drive through. Hot Stepper and Hingle McDingleberry, early pit stop for them. Skyblind. Oh, it's a cluster of cars through turn 1, right behind the Alpine of Benja. They're trying to go through a space where there is a car. Oh, and Skyglide's in the wall. I think he got a car right up his arse. That just was a human centipede in him, giving him a good munch of his bum air. As Magel and JMB, not JMB. Oh, for Christ's sake, come on, guys. Magel's in the wall. Magel's in the wall. And Benja ahead of Benchard. What's up with Benchard now? We've just had a poor line out of turn 9. Loses a couple of positions to Benja and Shawnee P. DRS is now active, of course. And you'll be under threat from DRS if you have a poor line out of 9. It's a 2-stopper. That's said by Amazon. As Regan McKinnon pumping in that fastest lap. Right on the gearbox of Dan Morris. He's got a 2-second gap to Benja in P3. As it stands, this is my podium prediction. Get me the lottery numbers as Shawnee and Benchard side by side through the first couple of corners. It's brilliant racing from these pairs. Benchard has the inside of turn 3. A very tricky corner to go side by side. Shawnee P leaves in plenty of room and looks like he's just got his nose ahead, but Benchard has the inside of turn 4. And keeps the position for now. Brilliant driving from these pairs. Will Shawnee P try the switchback? He's not close enough to do so. He has his teammate all over his gearbox. As Magel is in the pits after his collision in the wall. We'll lose out an extra 7 seconds or so with the wing change. As Fleazy looking to try on the inside of his teammate. That has to slot behind through the high-speed right-hander. Where it's very easy to go wide. And you see this big train of cars all the way down from P4. Benja has his eyes set on the 2 cars ahead. But it's going to be very tricky to close the gap when with the front 2 pull the trigger and pit and get rid of these soft tyres. At the moment, Dan Morris controlling the race. Benchard with a cluster of cars following him behind. Dan Morris. So I see Cygate ahead of Dead Divine. Dead Divine losing a couple of places. Had a very tricky couple of corners through turns 6 and 7. as the Ferrari's losing out of track position again, this time to fire to Udinari. As we approach turn 4. Sygate on these medium tyres. Kessler up to P10. Battling here with JMB, not JMB. Approaching turn 7. Visa Carb having the inside, and the Williams having to concede the position. So now the Saubers exchange position. Oh, Shawnee P! Just a little tap of his teammate. Loses traction in the rear end, cutting the corner. Be careful not get a track limit penalty. And has to lose out to Damon Hill and Sygate. Damon Hill now up to P6. What a start for the Mercedes. Maybe his should shout for a podium, and Terry Reds was right. Who knows? Fleasy closing in on Benchard. As Regan McKinnon's right in the back of Dan Morris will be sweating like R. Kelly at a school prom. Shawnee P past Sygate with DRS up to P7 now. Sygate tyres will be in a better condition. As we see firing Kessler once again, there's a car behind smashing up the braking boards. Terry Red saying Damon Hill from P6 from P13. Wiping off the cobwebs from last week and bringing back his Silverstone form. I think he'll be well chuffed with a P6 finish, and at the moment is in P1 position for the Challenger tier. The race has just settled now as we're on lap 5 after that first couple of laps. Bets on who's getting the first track limits pen. I'm going to go Kessler as he overtakes Fire coming out of turn 10. I'm going Kessler as well, yeah. Regan McKinnon retaking the lead of the race, or does he? Dan Morris fighting hard at turns 1 and 2, defending for all his might as Regan McKinnon goes wide. Dan Morris lets him through. I think he forced him wide. That would have cost him a couple of seconds, and Benja's like, oh my god, it's Christmas. Fire losing out another position here to Skyglide as he goes wide around turn 3. Surely these soft tyres are going to be very tricky. Dan Morris out of DRS range, letting Regan McKinnon through. Shawnee P gets the track limits. Benja just under a couple of seconds to Dan. I think Regan McKinnon may have just let Dan Morris back through. Do it for the Benz. Mercedes-Benz. Oh, yellow flag, it's Shawnee P. Let me catch up with you. There he is. He's gone off at turn 9 into the gravel, facing the wrong way. Lost out plenty of positions, and probably we'll see him pit now because his tyres will be shit. Daza goes on through as well after his drive-through penalty. Benchard then the first one in, getting rid of these soft tyres onto some fresh mediums, and it'll be a massive difference as Sygate's in as well. Getting rid of the mediums already, Sygate. Crazy. This is a bit early there for the medium runner. Does he have damage? It would only explain it as Dan Morris into the grasp. Getting Regan McKinnon into his grasp. No, he's just getting the early pit stop here. He does know he's only got... No, and a wing change. And a wing change. Makes sense. I was going to say, there's no way he's doing mediums and going back on mediums. And Dead Divine here up to P6 now. Damon Hill up to P4. All eyes on the Mercedes. This will be an incredible drive. Dead Divine holding up JMB, not JMB. Dazza's gone again. Oh, as we see the Ferrari loses back end now at turn 9. I do rears into the I think they've collided. I don't know if anything could have been done there for Dead Divine, but he's got a penalty for it. That's quite unfortunate, I think, to be honest, but both will probably be pitting now. The Haas definitely will be. Get rid of that damaged wing, and it's probably a time when he was going to. It was going to cost him an extra 7 seconds or so with his wing change. These drivers going quite a long time on these soft tyres than I expected. They must be struggling with traction. Kessler out to P6 from the back of the grid. This is not a bad drive either from the Williams. I don't know, really will come out in P17, or will he? No, he's going to come out probably behind Seigate. Hingle McDingle tag nut still at the back, hanging from the artear. Dead Divine behind his teammate. Will his teammate let him go? Oh, Dazza needs another invite. Stop. Leaving then. Where is he? He's not even online. He's not even online. Where even is he? I'll tell you what, I can't find these guys because they're not even... He's not there. And he's not there where he's supposed to be. We're missing out on some valuable action here. He's not even online. And he's not there. Don't know where he is. 1-2 drivers in the pits now then. Fleazy, Skyglide and Dead Divine. As Regan McKinnon, Dan Morris is it. Dan Morris's pit as well, crucially. Onto the mediums. He's come out right behind Big John and Pepso. As he gets past Seigate. Promotes Damon Hill and Kessler up to the podium positions. Dan Morris will want to get past Pepso as quick as possible. Should do with a dose of DRS. Coming out of turn 9. Oh, as we see Pepso lose traction and hits the wall in the grass. Dan Morris couldn't believe his luck, and next up is Big John, and Dazzler is in, thankfully. And gets back in his car after losing a couple of positions. But Regan McKinnon's in the pits now. Damon Hill carries on. Is he going to go as long as he can to blow his tyres up? J&B, not J&B in the pits too as Kessler goes on through. This will be crucial to see where Dan Morris is going to get with a dose of DRS as well. Gets past Big John. Regan McKinnon's coming out the pits and does come out ahead of Dan Morris, who got caught up in traffic, but will come in DRS range of the Haas driver. J&B, not J&B, and Pepso in the pits. We've got a yellow flag somewhere. It's just gone. Someone's just gone off track. Benja's pit and is stuck behind Big John. And around the same time that he was, the Seigate and Ree having a great battle here for P16. Seigate just ahead and just ahead of Adin Ree, who's following through turn 3. See some overtakes ahead. Dan Morris getting past Fire. Dan Morris riding the gearbox of Regan McKinnon. It's going to be a great battle for the race win. Benja has managed to get past John. Benchard getting past the McLaren as well. And Kessler gets himself a 10-second penalty. Italian hand gesture. And a rookie mistake as Dan Morris, with the fastest lap, closes the gap, caught in a bit of dirty air of the Haas. As Fire's in and Big John is in as well. Skyglide showing some massive pace as well. As he'll get past the guys in the pits. Hunting down Hot Stepper, who's on some used medium tyres. Shawnee P, Real Damon Hill still yet to pit. And surely their tyres, it must be so difficult to drive on. Damon Hill cannot do a one-stopper, no way. He's going to go for a two-stopper, but as long as he can on these. There's no way he's going to do a one-stopper on these tyres. If he was going to do a one-stopper, everyone else, especially Regan and Dan, will be trying to one, and he's in. He's going to go soft, medium, mediums. But he's a good first stint. Surely Shawnee P is going to follow him in as well. Damon Hill just struggling in that dirty air. Regan McKinnon's put the trigger down. He bought himself a little bit of a gap to Dan. Both pushing hard. Benjo in a comfortable P3 at the moment. Benchard with a fantastic drive as it stands in P4, with Dazza running P5 but slightly out of sync with pit stops. But he could go quite a long time on these mediums. Please, I think he'd be currently happy in P6 with Damon Hill after his pit stops come out in P7 on some fresh mediums. I don't know if he's in shout for a podium, but he's definitely in a really strong position for P1 in the Challenger tier. "10 laps on softs, 20 laps on mediums." Nah. Well, Shawnee P's done 11 on softs. Surely he's not going to be a crazy kamikaze bastard and try the one stop. It would be incredible, but they'll just lose so much time on traction that it's just a pointless exercise, to be honest. Down and see this battle here with Nagel in P13. 4-car battle, as you see. Fire hitting Idina Rui, and Shawnee P is finally in the pits. Fire looking quite aggressive in his red Ferrari. He's slightly wide out of the final corner. No, Shawnee P's in. There's no way he could have gone. Idina Rui's got past no, he hasn't. I'm lying. Nagel still controlling that train here in P12. Looking very strong at the moment. Got a yellow flag. It's a Ferrari, I think it's Fire, just went wide at turn 4. He's managed to keep himself in this train and this battle with JMB. Goes wide out of turn 8 and cost him a couple of tenths. Fire just struggling at the moment in the dirty air. Not JMB. Holding up this train now is Fleasy and Dazza. Dazza's in the pits getting off these used mediums. Nagel taking an interesting line through turn 13. Dazza going on a set of softs, then looking for a quick medium stint. Oh, Nagel just controlling his car on the curb. As you see, Sygate trying to close in on the Alpine, not close enough, and he's under threat from the Haas behind him. He goes wide out of round turn 3. A very tricky corner, especially when you're close behind another car. As you see, Pepso wrong way round at turn 3. Like I've just said, it's a very tricky corner. And the Red Bull cars come a cropper. And has Shawnee P overtake him on the outside. Gain a position just after pitting. Dan Morris over 2 seconds now behind Regan McKinnon. Regan McKinnon settled himself. Dan Morris potentially just dropping back a bit with a bit of tyre preservation. Trying to make these mediums last as long as possible. And then pounce when the iron's hot. It's Pepso again. His tyres absolutely scream. These soft tyres are not great, especially when you lose traction. Just needs to take these corners, tiptoe round. Otherwise you'll do an exorcist and turn your head round. And Sygate finally does get past Nagel. Nagel in the gravel. What's happened to Sygate? Sygate's off track as well. And Deirdre Rio's gone round as well. Avil colliding, letting each other pass. That's where we start getting some interesting manoeuvres as Magel goes through Sygate, I think letting him go as well. I think there may have been an overtake opportunity that went wrong by Daza gaining advantage now. Especially Daza on those fresh soft tyres. He probably couldn't believe his luck. He parted like the Red Sea. Parted like Ace Ventura's arse cheeks. Alrighty then. It's a bit spread out as one or two drivers just managing their tyre wear now. The Haas driver all over the back of the Ferrari. Struggling through the final corner, and Sygate is... Magel's in the pits as he got damage. I would suspect, although he's got old tyres, so maybe it is a pit stop, but looks like it's going to be a 3-stopper for the Alpine driver on some fresh mediums. Dan Morris with a little tyre preservation is opening the door here for Benja. He's within 2 seconds of the Aston Martin now. Had a couple of weeks missing and is thankfully back with us and putting his penny in for this championship fight. At the moment, Megan McKinnon is just controlling not only this race but the title challenge. Just swatting his competitors off like flies. And Zaza closed in on JMB, not JMB. How long can these soft tyres last for before they start? Hot Stepper in the pits, and we've got another yellow flag, it looks like, in Mercedes. Hot Stepper's putting some fresh rubber on. I think it was Hingle McDingleberry, Tagnut. Probably letting tyres pass as the cars pass as they're lapping him. As Shawnee P getting past Dead Divine, he'll be struggling on these soft tyres. Hot Stepper coming out. Side by side with the Sauber, but the Sauber gets just ahead. Dead Divine struggling on grip, going off track. That won't help his traction at all, and loses time on the 2 cars ahead. The Ferrari driver's really struggling. You know that the tarmac is what you're supposed to be driving on, yeah? Turning a little bit too early in these corners, and that's why he's struggling a bit of traction. Daza has got past J&B and up to P9. There's a big gap between him and Kessler ahead. Of course, with the different tyre strategies and pit strategies, and this grid wheel mix up. And holding a comfortable P6. As you see Fleasy with that penalty. We'll have to keep an eye on the cars behind, but is a bit of distance behind Benchard. As Dead Divine in the pits now. Hot Stepper getting past Shawnee P with DRS and fresh tyres up to P15. Will the McLaren try and go to the end? It's going to be difficult. They are over halfway, of course, that 19 of 33. Still a bit of a time to go. Dan Morris just dropping a bit further behind the Haas of Regan McKinnon. The Flying Scotsman, we've got one in each division. Yellow flag, and I think it's not a car let him pass. Somebody getting off track again. Big John behind Sygate, looking to overtake the Visa car down the start-finish straight. He's a good exhale, the final corner goes deep. That's going to cost him some time, and Sygate will be safe on this occasion. But Big John's pushing Probably squaring a lot, yeah. So he's absolutely screaming down to turn 1, but has to stay behind. Oh, almost collides with the Visa Carb. Has to go off the line and void. Goes wide through turn 3. Willie trying to make the overtake on the outside. Sidegate, she's leaving just enough room. Big John wasn't sure though and goes deep. And his teammate goes past. A bit more experience needed there from Big John. And just maybe either pulling out the corner or just trusting Sidegate would leave him some room. But lost out on the position and a bit of time. Has Pepso in the pits after... He's like a bottle of Pepsi that someone shook up. He's fizzing. He's fizzing and jizzing. Hot Stepper now closing in on Sidegate. Both on different tyre wear offsets. This should be a rudimentary overtake for the McLaren. It's a good line, good exhale, the final corner. Have DRS. Will score it as ERS, and you can see the speed that he's got gaining. Sidegate won't try and fight it. And up to P13 for the McLaren. Great overtake. Sidegate will just follow him through the next couple of corners. As Fleasy has closed the gap on the Williams of Benchod. He's having a great race, one of his best races he's had in a while, Benchod. I think he'll be happy. Still with an opportunity for podium position, but might just be slightly out of his grasp as the Williams dives in the pits then. And as I take a slurp, Italian hand gesture for Benchod. I'm not taking blame for that. I was bigging you up and you don't know where your brake pedal is. 1-0 Bayern PSG, but it's in the 94th minute. It might be a little too late for the German team. It'll be an Arsenal PSG final. Well, I think the majority of the UK will be cheering on PSG. Hot Stepper showing his pace of Sidegate in the gravel. I thought he was in the pits, but he's in the gravel. Going deep on the final corner. And that's cost him a couple of positions. As Shawnee P overtaking Big John with DRS and a great overtake from the Sauber. Let's see if I can get Dazza back in, who's struggling with his connection to stay in the lobby. Come on, Dazza. Dan Morris in the pits then. This time pitting a bit earlier than Regan McKinnon. Regan McKinnon, of course, only did that one run, so maybe he's doing a soft, medium, softs. Fleasy following Dan into the pits. Dan going on some fresh mediums. Benja then up to P2. This will be interesting strategy call from the Scotsman if he's saved himself 2 sets of softs. Oh, Italian adjuster for Skyglide as well, speed in the pit lane. Come on, boys. You're costing yourself decent finishing positions here. Easy will come out ahead of Skyrate. JMB goes on through. Comes out on P11. We've got a yellow flag. Oh, we got a yellow flag. Who's that? Ah, Benchod, who's just pit as well, has crashed out in turn 1 and has lost out many positions as well as his track limits, his speeding in the pit lane penalty. He's gone from bad to worse. He's not only sharted, but he's full on shit himself now. And found himself down in P13. Honest driver just struggling with his pit limits. Dan Morris on those fresh mediums. A couple of seconds behind Damon Hill. Will Damon Hill try and do the soft, medium, softs the same as Regan McKinnon? McKinnon's still going round, same as Benja. Benja 4.5 seconds off the lead. Skyglide ahead of Adina Rui. As Dazza now in the pits getting off those soft tyres. Benchod losing out to Shawnee P. these yellow flags, these keep flashing up. I think I've got jaundice or epilepsy. Hot stepper all over the back of the Haas. Goes to a late move on turn 1. Idina really didn't see him and turns in. Should have expected the move there. Oh, Italian gesture for Sygate as well. Oh no. It's all kicking off in the pit lane. That's ahead of me, got P14. Front 2 are in. Damon Hill's coming round turn 12. Will he follow in as well? It's all eyes on Dan Morris as Regan does go on the soft tyres. Damon Hill goes in. Benji's on some fresh softs as well. So Dan Morris here wants to stay on the mediums, which potentially could be the better tyre. Regan comes out ahead of Dan Morris, but Dan Morris crucially ahead of Benja, who's just come out the pit lane. Kessler then will be in P4, but still has to pit as Fleasy ahead of Damon Hill. Yellow flag for Benchard. Oh, it's going bad way. I'm spinning the pit lane, JMB, not JMB. Oh, don't know. I just don't know. Is the line not there? Is the line not there? How can so many people... Benedict St. GG's Dan, but Regan McKinnon only did 1 run, so he had 2 fresh sets of softs. Oh, and Benchard's out. He's retired in the pit lane, and from what looked like a really, really good position, lost his head, and Williams has retired. And we'll put all the pressure on his teammate, currently running P4. So Regan McKinnon in the lead of the race will be on those fresh softs. Dan Morris, though, with the fastest lap, should theoretically have the better tyre going near the end of the race. Benja currently running 4 seconds behind the front 2. Easy running in net P4. Fire still yet to pit as well. Sky Guy with the penalty for track limits. For speed in the pit lane, sorry. So Damon Hill and Hot Stepper in a really, really fine position of a decent finish in this race. Be interesting to see how they finish up as we wait for the final lot of pit stops. Stazza overtaking Shawnee P, getting himself into the top 10. Can he stay in the lobby and not get disconnected? I think he's 10 seconds or so off. Battle for P8. So out of the 19-1 retiree, with 9 laps including this one to go. Who's going to win this race? Who's going to be in the podium as Skyglide overtaking Fire up to P6. Fire, of course, on those old mediums, which we're sure to see him pit very soon. Will Kessler choose to pit as soon as well before their tyres start screaming? Fire carries on. Surely not going to try and go to the end. As Fleasy overtaking Kessler up to P4, then the Sauber. As Damon Hill getting past the Ferrari and up to P7. Hot Stepper should be able to go to the end of the race, but he's not going to be as quick as the Mercedes. And he's closing in though on the Ferrari, struggling on these mediums now. He's tiptoeing round these slow corners, trying to keep it on track. He's just got no grip at all. And this track is difficult in the best of times, let alone when you've got to use the 2 softer compounds. Mediums are banned. Benja just over 2 seconds behind Dan Morris now. Regan McKinnon's afforded himself 3 seconds, but it should come back to Dan in about 3 laps time. Kessler now in the pits, don't speed. Well, at least somebody can use their brake pedal. Getting right into the middle of the pack then as Skyglide and Damon Hill go through. Fires in the pits as well, doing their final stops. I would not be surprised if we see maybe a Shawnee P go in. It's going to be tight for him near the end of the race. Damon Hill just over 2 seconds behind Skyglide. Some fantastic pace shown here by the Mercedes. After his blip last week, is in for a chance of a P1 in the Challenger tier if he stays within penalty range of Skyglide. Big John going through his Magels in the pits on some fresh softs. Interesting to see who gets the fastest lap. We've got a yellow flag and it's Kessler, after just pitting, has pit himself into the gravel out of turn 4. And that's not a great start. Trying to put some temperature in his tyres. Has now put gravel in his brake ducts. And now down in P13. And Fire taking advantage of Kessler's mistake up to P12. And Aston Martin looking to get some big points on the board. As Nagel and Big John battling coming out of turn 10. At the moment Nagel just ahead. Can he get out of DRS range of the McLaren, who rise the apex of 13? A little bit bumpy, and Nagel with fresh. Oh, what happened there with Big John? It's like he sneezed. Lost out a couple of positions there. That was strange. Down in a straight line. That's leading the way by 26 points with Aston Martin behind. Aston Martin looking like they could close the gap for their fight for constructors here. It stays as it does. It's just evening out now. Will the medium tyre become the better tyre? With 4 laps to go, including this. Big John, after his sneezing fit, snorting pepper. Behind now, Dead Divine, who's gone through. Can he get past the Ferrari? He's got older tyres. And we'll find the end of the race very difficult. Goes wide out of turn 13. And Big John. What the fuck? What? How did he do? He's a witch! Burn him! And Big John missing his braking point, going deep at turn 1. Now cost him some time behind the Ferrari. And he'll stay in P16. After his magic trick coming out of the final corner. Dazzler on fresher tyres, currently running P8, closing the gap on Hot Stepper. This wouldn't be a bad drive here from the Red Bull after his connection issues. Good evening, it's our big man Daft Chip. Been a while since we've seen him in the Discord and watching the race. On to 2 divisions now, it's crazy. Div 1 race at 7:30, followed by the Div 2 race at 9. And you're actually watching one of the better races from Div 2. A couple of street races have been absolute carnage, as you'd expect. Yellow flag. I think it's Pepso getting overtaken. We've got Mercedes. It's Hingle McDingleberry Bum Tagnut coming round turn 12. It's gone deep and into the gravel. And his reasonably fresh tyres will not be fresh. It's taps the curb and managed to keep control of his car. Still gets points. Everyone that finishes gets rewarded with points. Dazza has closed in on Hot Stepper for that P7 position. We'll have a dose of DRS. Will he use a lot of his ERS as well as Hot Stepper? What the? He's a magician. Goes on the outside of turn 1. Hot Stepper can't really defend it. And Dazza clicks his fingers into P7. Wow. Yeah, all good, thank you. Hope you're all good as well. Love to see you back on the track one day. Shawnee P got passed by J&B, not J&B, for that P9. But, positions will all change with penalties. Regan McKinnon still leading the way. These soft tyres have lasted. He's nursed them well. He's got over 3 seconds to Dan Morris, and will extend his lead at the top of the championship. Had a 45-point gap to Dan Morris at the start of this race, and extends his challenge for that P2 title and the promotion up to Div 1. Yeah, bring him in. Even if he doesn't join the Discord, he could probably look at joining Div 2 next season, maybe. If it's, it might be past his bedtime though. Who knows? Yellow flag. I'm the same. I did one race, I think it might have been the pre-season one, and I finished the race, but that's because everyone else crashed out. Then we're making use of these soft tyres as well as Regan McKinnon starts the final lap here in Barcelona. Barcelona. And Ferrari, Dead Divine, lost it round the final corner on the penultimate lap. Going to cost him a bit of time to Cygate, who's got a big gap to be fair, so not much damage done there for Ferrari, but he'll be happy just to finish race and get some more points on the board. It's all a bit spread out as we're on the final lap now. Regan McKinnon just has to nurse home as the Ferrari's off again. He's in the wall. And it might be an extra place here for Cygate. No, it's not, because Cygate's round the other way as well. What are you all doing? Pepso will be licking his lips, thinking he's gained a position out of nowhere. These two struggling to keep it on track ahead. Who's that now? Hingle McDingleberry Bontagnut. Regan McKinnon, he's managed to keep it on track. Keep it focused, got himself on pole, only just. Well, he's controlled the race, had the best strategy. He's having the best season and will take another win of the season. P1 in Barcelona. Dan Morris fought as much as he could, gets P2 with Benja coming home and getting another podium. P3 for the Alpine. TT Fleasy will cross the line in 4th, but will he finish 4th? I can't remember who's got what penalties after all the speed in the pit lanes. Oh, Dead Divine, he's lost out on points then. Fleasy will come home P4. Skyglide will come home P5. But I think Damon Hill will take P5 and P1 in the Challenger tier. Skyglide will have to settle for P6 as Dazza comes home in P7. Will take P6 off Skyglide. Brilliant race from the Red Bull considering his connection issues. Skyglide looks like he'll take P2 in the Challenger tier. Hot Stepper taking P8. J&B, not J&B. Exactly. Always where the magic happens. You should have seen bloody Baku, and what else did we do earlier on? I can't remember, but it was absolute carnage. Shawnee P coming home P9. I think he takes P3 in the Challenger tier then, so congratulations to him. That battle for the Challenger title is hotting up, with Shawnee P leading away, but Damon Hill will probably take that away from him. Hot Stepper got killed lap 1 and then did 2 mediums and then, so good credit to him. But Regan McKinnon putting his arm in the air like he's don't you forget about me, like he's on the Breakfast Club. Well, that's your problem if you're checked out. Dan Morris got to keep on going. Gets fastest lap though, so point towards his finishing position. Dazza getting driver of the day. We shall see. 17 laps first stint and 17 laps on the mediums. Incredible. Catch another race, Daft Chip. Thanks for joining us. A few of the old guys are in Div 1. You'll remember some of them, but they'll be on 7:30 next week. Regan McKinnon taking another race win. Dan Morris getting fastest up in 43, P2 and Benja P3, Fleasy P4, Damon Hill P5 and P1 in the Challenger, Dazza P6, Skyride P7 and P2 in the Challenger, Hot Stepper P8, Shawnee P9 and P3 and the Challenger and Fire round off the top 10. Dr. JB, Idina Reed, Kessler, Magel, Big John, Pepso, Cygate, Bull Ninja, Benchod and Dead Divine both DNFing from the race. Whoo-wee! And now it looks like Regan McKinnon's getting a tighter grip on that title for the Div 2. But it's not all over yet. Anything can happen. And we're back again next week. Div 1 will be 7:30 UK. No hards in Monaco. That's going to be a crazy one. Do not miss that one. And if you want to see the Div 2 boys back on the grid, they'll be in Bahrain, which you should all be used to, with it being at the start of the calendar and one that is used in practice. It should be imprinted in their brains. They should know like the back of their hands. I'm sure we'll see one or two that can't keep it on the track. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for the kind words. Damon Hill, Hingle McDingleberry, bum tag, not as happy with his position, even though it's not 19th. But points mean prizes, and prizes means joining us next week. I'm all tuckered out. I'm going to get some food. My name's Alex. It's Lights Rodriguez in. Peace out.